The humans stepped out of the transport, their boots crunching against the strange, metallic floor. The air was thick with the smell of ozone and something older, something primal that made their skin crawl. The arena stretched endlessly, a maze of towering walls, shadowed corridors, and flickering lights that made it impossible to see far ahead. Every corner seemed to breathe with hidden menace. A young cadet, Mira, tightened her grip on the control device strapped to her wrist. This isn't just a test," she whispered. Her voice trembled, though she tried to hide it. Around her, the others nodded silently, eyes wide with the mix of fear and excitement that only the unknown could create. From above, a low hum resonated, mechanical yet organic, as if the arena itself was alive. Sensors flickered along the walls, scanning the humans like a predator marking prey. The trainers, usually calm and detached, glanced at each other with subtle tension, their confident facades barely holding. "Remember," one of them said, his voice steady but underlined with unease, "the trial is designed to push you beyond every limit. Don't expect mercy." A sudden shiver ran through the group as the ground beneath them vibrated faintly. Without warning, shadows darted across the walls, too fast, too fluid to be human. The cadets froze. A faint clicking echoed, rhythmic and purposeful. Myra's heart pounded as if it wanted to escape her chest. "Did anyone else see that?" she whispered to her companion, Jalen, who shook his head, though his eyes betrayed him. Before he could reply, a shrill siren cut through the arena. Red lights flashed, bathing the walls in a blood-like glow. A holographic display flickered in front of them, revealing cryptic symbols and patterns that made no immediate sense. The trainers' faces hardened. "They've started," one muttered, almost to himself. "It's alive. The arena, it changes." A sudden roar shattered the tense silence. It was not a human roar, not entirely. It resonated deep, vibrating through the floor, as if warning the humans that every step would be measured. Myra's stomach turned. Every instinct screamed to run, but her legs stayed rooted. Jalen's hand found hers, and the pressure was both terrifying and strangely comforting. "Keep calm," he said, though his voice carried the same tremor she felt in her own chest. "We have to understand it before it understands us." The walls shifted subtly, imperceptibly, creating new pathways and closing old ones. The arena seemed alive, responsive to their movements, predicting their hesitations and exploiting them. A whisper of mechanical laughter brushed through the air, and Mira realized it wasn't coming from any one corner. The trial itself was mocking them. A sudden movement caught her eye, a predator or something like it slipping between shadows. It didn't attack immediately, but its presence alone made her blood run cold. The creature's eyes glowed faintly, intelligent, assessing, almost curious. Mira couldn't tell if it saw her as prey or as a puzzle to be studied. "Stay together," one of the cadets yelled, breaking the spell of fear. Others scrambled, forming tighter clusters, scanning every shadow, every flicker of movement. But the arena didn't let them stay still for long. Holographic panels rose from the floor, blocking exits, forming cages, twisting their environment into something impossible. Myra's mind raced. Every sense screamed danger. The air smelled of metal and ozone, but beneath it, a faint trace of something alive, warm, breathing. She could hear soft clicks, taps, whispers, too many sounds to distinguish, yet each one sharpened her awareness. The arena was watching. A sudden alarm blared again, different this time, high-pitched and shrill. From the ceiling, a set of mechanical arms descended, scanning the cadets with precise, unnerving motions. One brushed past Myra's shoulder, cold and deliberate, as if testing her reflexes. She flinched and the arm retracted. Jalen's eyes widened. "They don't want us to panic," he murmured, voice tight. "They want to see what we do when we're afraid." Mira swallowed hard. Her pulse was a drum in her ears. She realized this trial wasn't just about surviving predators or traps. It was about understanding, adapting, predicting. Every shadow, every sound, every flicker of light could be a threat, or an opportunity. The line between predator and environment blurred. A distant roar echoed again, but this time it was joined by the soft padding of multiple steps. Something was moving toward them, deliberate, cautious, yet undeniably deadly. Mira felt her stomach knot. She gripped Jalen's hand tighter. "Don't let it see fear," he whispered. His eyes met hers, and in that moment, a silent agreement formed. Survival wasn't just about running, it was about reading, thinking, feeling, and acting faster than the arena could anticipate. The shadows lengthened. The hum grew louder. Mira realized that from now on, every step, every breath, every decision would carry weight beyond measure. The trial had begun and nothing, neither human nor predator, would ever be the same. The arena seemed to pulse with life, the walls shifting silently, narrowing and widening in rhythm with the humans' movements. Mira could feel it pressing on them, a subtle weight that made every breath feel heavier. The hum had grown sharper, almost like a whispering growl circling their minds. A sudden screech split the air, cutting through every thought. Shadows flitted along the walls, faster than eyes could follow. One of the cadets, Ryan, stumbled back, tripping over a jagged floor panel. A low growl followed, vibrating through the arena floor. The predators had found their first target. "Move!" Jalen shouted, grabbing Myra's arm. Their group surged forward instinctively, hearts hammering. The arena reacted, corridors shifting, doors closing, paths twisting, trying to separate them. Myra's pulse raced. She could hear the scraping of claws against metal, every movement precise, calculated, terrifying. From a dark corner, a predator lunged. It was sleek and silent, moving like liquid shadow, its eyes glowing faintly. Mira froze for a fraction of a second, and the creature's head snapped toward her. She gasped, barely dodging as it skidded past, claws scraping the wall beside her. "Watch it!" Ryan yelled, backing up. His voice shook with fear, but he kept moving. The humans had learned quickly that standing still was death. Every step they took had to be measured, every shadow scanned. "Keep calm," Jalen said, voice tight but controlled. "We need to understand it. Predict it." Myra's legs burned as she ran, but she noticed something strange. One predator paused mid-lunge, tilting its head as if observing her. It didn't attack immediately. The hesitation felt deliberate. A small spark of hope flared inside her chest, quickly chased away by the pounding fear of what could happen if it struck. Another screech erupted, closer this time. From above, a predator dropped silently, landing just behind two cadets. They screamed, narrowly rolling out of its path. Myra's stomach twisted as the arena shifted again, closing one corridor and opening another. Panic surged, but she fought it down, forcing herself to scan for patterns. "They're testing us," she whispered to Jalen as they crouched behind a bent wall panel. "Not just our strength, our thinking." Jalen nodded, eyes darting across the shadows. "Every movement counts. Every pause counts. We can't make mistakes." From the corner of her eye, Mira saw Ryan attempt to distract a predator with a thrown piece of debris. The creature reacted instantly, faster than expected, swiping with a precision that made her heart stop. Ryan barely avoided the claws, collapsing against the wall. "Ryan," she screamed, rushing to him, but Jalen held her back. "Not yet. If we rush, we die too." The predator froze again, flicking its head back and forth, studying the humans. Mira realized the hesitation was not weakness, it was intelligence. It was learning, calculating, adapting to their movements. A low, vibrating growl came from somewhere deeper in the arena. The sound was so primal it made their teeth ache. Then another predator emerged, larger than the first, moving with terrifying grace. Its eyes scanned each human, and its tail whipped behind it, knocking over a panel that had been blocking their path. The humans stumbled backward, their breathing ragged, fear clawing at every nerve. "We can't fight them head-on," Mira muttered, gripping Jalen's arm. "We need to use the arena, the walls, the shadows. Make it work for us." The larger predator lunged at Jalen, who ducked just in time. Mira noticed a panel above, slightly loose. Acting on instinct, she kicked it down, sending a small barrier between them and the predator. It hissed, retreating slightly, reconsidering its approach. This is it," Mira said, voice barely audible. "We survive by thinking faster than it does." The arena responded, lights flickering, walls sliding with deliberate intent, almost as if testing her words. Another screech echoed, closer than before. One predator advanced through a corridor that had not existed moments ago, forcing the humans to split. Myra's stomach sank. Separating was dangerous, yet staying together meant fewer escape options. "Stay alert," Jalen barked. "We watch each other's backs." Myra's hands were trembling, sweat burning her eyes, but she noticed small details: the predators' movements, their pauses, even the way they tilted their heads. Each gesture gave hints, tiny but vital. She realized that the hunt wasn't random, it was a conversation, a challenge, a puzzle. Ryan, still crouched, whispered, "It's like it's learning from us." "Yes," Mira said, heart racing. "And we have to learn faster." The predators didn't strike immediately again. Instead they circled, watched, and tested. Every step the humans took, every decision they made, changed the outcome. Mira felt a strange mix of fear and exhilaration. The first hunt wasn't just survival, it was the start of understanding the creatures and the arena itself. The humans moved cautiously, their minds alert, muscles tense, ready for whatever the arena, or its predators, would throw next. Mira glanced at Jalen, then at Ryan and whispered, "We have to be ready for everything. The hunt has only just begun." Above them, the arena pulsed and shifted, alive and waiting, as if it knew the real challenge was just beginning. The humans moved cautiously through the shifting corridors. Every shadow seemed alive, every sound magnified, as if the arena itself was listening to their heartbeat. Myra's legs ached, but her mind raced faster than ever. The predators were still out there, circling, but something had changed. They hesitated more, their attacks slower, more deliberate, almost thoughtful. "Did you see that?" Ryan whispered, pointing toward a predator crouched on a ledge. It didn't strike even when they passed close. Its eyes followed them, tilting, studying, not with hunger but with curiosity. Mira shivered, realizing this wasn't just a hunt anymore. Jalen's brow furrowed. "They're communicating somehow. Watch how they move together. It's not random." A sudden hiss made them freeze. A smaller predator darted between two larger ones, nudging them toward a corridor that hadn't existed a moment ago. Mira blinked, her mind struggling to catch up. The predators were guiding each other, almost herding yet not attacking. What are they doing?" she asked, voice barely audible. "They're not just hunting," Jalen said slowly. "They're testing us. Seeing who understands them, who doesn't." The corridor ahead narrowed, forcing them closer to the creatures. Myra's heart hammered. She expected a lunge at any second, but the predators paused. One even stepped back, creating space for them to pass. Confusion and fear tangled in her chest. "Did it just let us through?" Ryan whispered. "Yes," Mira replied, barely daring to breathe. "But it's not kindness. It's observation." A soft vibration ran through the floor, subtle but insistent. Mira realized the arena itself was responding to the predator's movements. Each predator's decision changed the pathways, the walls, even the lights. Every step they took now required split-second thinking. Suddenly, a holographic panel flickered to life ahead, showing fragments of symbols they had seen before. This time it formed a simple pattern, an arrow pointing to a small alcove. Mira glanced at the predators. One of the larger ones had paused near the panel, its eyes fixed on her group. "Do you think it wants us to go there?" she whispered. Jalen shook his head. "Maybe. Or maybe it's a trap. But whatever it is, we can't ignore it." They moved cautiously toward the alcove, weapons raised, eyes scanning. As they reached it, a smaller predator stepped forward, ears twitching. Instead of attacking, it nudged a loose panel toward them, revealing a hidden passage. Mira blinked. This was cooperation? She could feel a strange mix of fear and disbelief. "Are they helping us?" Ryan asked, voice trembling. "I don't know," Mira admitted. "But we need to pay attention. This could be the key to surviving." The hidden passage led them to a wider chamber. Here, the arena's lights dimmed, and the shadows of predators fell across the walls. One of them approached cautiously, not attacking, just circling. Mira noticed the way it tilted its head, the subtle flick of its tail. It was almost inviting them to follow. Jalen stepped forward slowly. "We move together. Don't provoke it." Mira nodded, heart in her throat. Every movement felt like a negotiation, every breath a delicate gamble. As they advanced, the predators mirrored them, keeping a careful distance. There was tension, yes, but also a strange rhythm, a silent understanding forming between species. "Maybe it's testing our minds, not our bodies," Mira murmured. "It's seeing if we can read it, if we can adapt." Ryan swallowed hard, eyes wide. "I never thought I'd feel trust towards something that could kill me in an instant." The chamber shifted again. Walls that had been solid slid aside, revealing multiple paths. The predators scattered briefly, then regrouped near specific exits, almost as if guiding the humans subtly toward a particular route. Mira felt a spark of realization. This wasn't random hunting. It was a challenge of perception, of empathy, of understanding another mind. A sudden roar broke the fragile silence and the humans froze. But this time the predators didn't attack immediately. They moved between the humans and the sound, positioning themselves strategically. Mira felt a shiver. They were protecting her group, or at least delaying harm long enough for them to figure something out. "They're forming a pattern," Jalen whispered. "They're allies in a sense if we can read it right." Mira clenched her fists, adrenaline surging. The thought was terrifying and exhilarating. Survival wasn't just about fighting, it was about learning a new language, silent, instinctual, dangerous. Every gesture, every tilt of the head, every step mattered. The humans advanced cautiously, mirroring the predator's movements, matching their pace. Each small success, avoiding a trap, anticipating a shift in the walls, gave them confidence. Fear was still present, but it was sharper, more focused, channeled into awareness. As they reached a narrow passage, the predators paused, forming a circle around them. The humans could feel the weight of observation, the intelligence of a species unlike any they had faced before. Mira realized the trial had changed. It was no longer a simple hunt. It had become a complex test of cooperation, understanding, and perception. "This is only the beginning," she whispered, voice firm. "We survive by learning them, and maybe by letting them learn us." The predators watched, silent and calculating. The arena itself pulsed with approval or interest, it was impossible to tell. Mira felt both awe and fear tighten in her chest. The first real understanding had begun, and with it, a fragile, dangerous alliance that could mean the difference between life and death. The humans moved cautiously, following the subtle guidance of the predators, their senses sharpened like never before. The arena had shifted again, walls sliding silently to form new corridors, strange alcoves appearing where there had been none. Myra's stomach churned with tension. Every step felt like walking on a blade. A sudden vibration ran through the floor, stronger this time. The air shimmered with heat and a sharp, metallic scent filled their noses. "Something's coming," Jalen whispered, scanning the walls. Myra's hands trembled, not from fear alone, but from the realization that the predator's guidance might not protect them this time. Without warning, the floor beneath them cracked open. Panels collapsed, revealing pits filled with whirring blades and shifting gears. Mira gasped, leaping back, narrowly avoiding the first trap. Ryan stumbled, and Jalen yanked him up just as a second pit snapped shut behind them. The arena was no longer merely alive, it was attacking. "They're testing our reactions," Mira muttered, her voice tight. Not just the predators, the arena itself. From the shadows, a predator lunged at the nearest opening, its claws slashing in a controlled motion. It wasn't trying to harm them, instead it blocked access to the most dangerous traps. Mira realized their supposed allies were now acting strategically, controlling the threats rather than removing them entirely. A high-pitched alarm shrieked from above, and lights flickered violently, casting long, distorted shadows across the walls. Illusions appeared, figures that looked like the humans themselves, moving independently, taunting them, forcing them to hesitate. Myra's pulse raced. Every time she attacked or dodged, the illusions mirrored her movements perfectly. "This isn't real," Ryan shouted, swinging at a phantom that vanished into smoke. "It's messing with our heads." "Yes," Mira said, voice trembling but focused. "It's forcing us to think faster than we ever have. Every instinct has to be perfect." Suddenly, a larger predator emerged from the shadows, its massive frame towering over the humans. Its eyes glowed a fiery red, scanning each of them with precision. Mira froze, but it did not strike immediately. Instead, it circled, almost presenting a puzzle. If she moved one way, the walls would shift. If she hesitated, traps would spring. "We can't fight it directly," Jalen hissed, whispering as though the walls themselves might hear him. "We have to predict it, and ourselves." The arena responded instantly. Sections of the floor lifted and twisted, creating moving platforms and sudden drops. Myra's hands clutched the wall, her breath ragged. Every step was a calculation. One mistake could send them plummeting into deadly machinery. From the ceiling, mechanical arms descended, scanning with precise, unerring accuracy. One reached for Mira. She ducked just in time, rolling forward, and the arm slammed into the floor behind her. Jalen grabbed her hand, pulling her to safety. "They're reading us," Mira gasped. "Everything we do, every move, it's a trap." Ryan's eyes were wide with panic. "We can't survive this." "Yes, we can," Mira said firmly, forcing courage into her voice. "We survive by thinking faster than the arena, and the predators." The predators shifted as well. One nudged a loose panel, creating a small path through the chaos. Mira saw it and motioned for the others. "Follow me." "Watch the gestures, they're still guiding us." They sprinted, leaping over gaps, ducking under swinging blades, and dodging illusions that threatened to distract them at every turn. Mira noticed a pattern. The predators paused at key points, subtly influencing the humans' choices, nudging them toward safer paths while letting them face enough danger to test them. A deafening roar erupted from the far end of the chamber. Myra's blood ran cold. A new predator larger than any before crashed through the walls, its claws cracking metal and stone. The humans froze, but the smaller predators positioned themselves between the group and the creature, blocking its advance without attacking it directly. "They're teaching us," Mira realized aloud, voice barely audible. "We survive not because we're stronger but because we can read them, understand them." The massive predator lunged, but the smaller ones guided it into a narrow corridor, using their own bodies to manipulate the environment. Mira's mind raced. Every step, every choice, every split-second reaction mattered more than ever. She felt fear, exhilaration, and awe crashing together inside her. A sudden flicker in the wall revealed a narrow passage, barely wide enough for the humans. Mira sprinted, pulling Ryan and Jalen behind her. The predators followed, keeping the larger threat at bay. Mira's heart pounded. The arena had become a living test of perception, strategy, and instinct. When they finally emerged into a slightly calmer chamber, Mira collapsed to her knees, gasping. Her hands shook, sweat stinging her eyes. Jalen placed a steadying hand on her shoulder, and Ryan leaned heavily against the wall. "We made it, but barely," Jalen said, voice low. "The arena's changing faster than we can react. And the predators, they're smarter than anything I imagined." Mira nodded, adrenaline still thrumming through her veins. "We survived the first deadly twist. But it's not over. The arena, the predators, they're still testing us. And the next challenge will be worse." A low hum vibrated through the chamber as the walls pulsed, almost like a heartbeat. Mira looked at the predators, now calm, watching, their eyes unreadable. The realization hit her hard. Survival wasn't about strength or courage alone. It was about understanding, adapting, and anticipating the unexpected at every turn. The humans moved forward cautiously, muscles tense, hearts pounding. The arena's hum had softened, but a heavy weight still hung in the air. Shadows of predators flickered along the walls, their eyes glowing faintly, watching every movement. Mira could feel a strange rhythm now, almost as if the arena and the creatures were breathing together. "Stay alert," Jalen whispered, voice low. "This calm, it's dangerous." Mira nodded, gripping the edge of a wall as they rounded a corner. The floor shifted beneath them, subtle, almost imperceptible, like a warning. Ryan stumbled, catching himself just in time. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up," he admitted, his voice trembling. "You can," Mira said firmly, placing a hand on his shoulder. "We've learned their language. We've seen the patterns. That gives us an advantage they didn't expect." A low growl reverberated through the chamber, followed by a subtle shift in the shadows. The predators appeared along the walls, their movements synchronized, precise. One of the larger creatures stepped forward, halting near a glowing panel embedded in the floor. Its gaze locked onto Mira. For a brief moment she thought it recognized her, or at least acknowledged her understanding. Jalen tilted his head, studying the predator. "It's giving us a choice, a path." Mira felt her pulse quicken. The panel shimmered, revealing multiple routes. Some led into darkness, others into narrow passages lined with sharp protrusions. The predator's posture suggested the safest path, not necessarily the easiest one. "We follow it," she said. "Exactly as it shows. No shortcuts." As they moved, the arena seemed to respond, walls sliding to guide them, doors opening where none had existed. The predators flanked them, not attacking but subtly influencing their decisions. Mira noticed how they nudged obstacles, blocked dangerous sections, and even redirected illusions that had confused them before. Ryan's voice was barely a whisper. "I can't believe it, they're helping us." "They're not helping," Mira corrected gently. "They're teaching us. Survival isn't just avoiding death. It's understanding, anticipating, adapting." A sudden tremor ran through the floor. A massive section of the arena shifted violently, sending debris clattering. A predator sprang forward, positioning itself between the humans and the falling hazards. Mira ducked instinctively, adrenaline flooding her veins. This wasn't just protection, it was strategy. The predators weren't merely allies, they were mentors, guiding the humans to survive not by strength alone, but by perception. The group pressed on, moving through corridors that seemed to stretch endlessly. Mira felt exhaustion clawing at her, but the predator's presence lent her a strange confidence. Each step was calculated, deliberate, synchronized with the creature's silent guidance. Finally they reached a wide chamber, the air cooler here, the shadows longer. In the center, a massive platform pulsed with light, almost like a heart. The predators gathered around it, forming a circle. Mira realized the arena itself had quieted, waiting. The trial had shifted. The predators had changed the rules. Jalen looked around, awe in his eyes. They want us here, together. Mira nodded, stepping onto the platform carefully. The predator's eyes followed her, unblinking. The floor beneath them glowed brighter, casting patterns that mirrored their movements. She felt a sense of clarity, a sudden understanding of the arena's true purpose. This was never about destruction alone. It was about connection, communication, and the evolution of trust between species. One predator approached Mira, lowering its head slightly. Its eyes met hers and she felt a silent acknowledgement. Survival had become a shared effort. It wasn't dominance or fear that had carried them here, it was perception, patience, and willingness to understand. Ryan exhaled, his shoulders slumping in relief. We made it. Alive. Together. Yes, Mira agreed, feeling a warmth she hadn't expected in this deadly arena. And it's more than survival. We've learned cooperation, respect, adaptation. That's the real victory. The arena hummed softly, almost in approval, as if acknowledging their growth. The predators stepped back slightly, forming a protective ring, but their stance had changed. They were no longer mere hunters. They were partners in a new order. Jalen smiled faintly, though his eyes still carried the tension of countless close calls. We've passed their trial, but it's more than that. We've become part of it, part of a system bigger than ourselves. Mira looked around at the other humans, their faces pale but alive, and then at the predators. A sense of awe and wonder filled her chest. The arena had tested them to the edge of fear and beyond, but it had also shown them something extraordinary, that strength alone wasn't enough. Understanding, patience, and adaptability were equally powerful. A soft vibration ran through the floor and the walls shifted one final time. New paths opened, not to danger but to opportunities, to choices yet unseen. The predators lingered near the exits, eyes tracking, guiding, and observing. Mira realized this was the beginning of something far larger than a single trial. The arena and its guardians had created a new order, one where humans and predators could coexist, learn, and challenge each other in ways neither species had imagined. She took a deep breath, feeling exhaustion and exhilaration in equal measure. We survived, she whispered. Not just by fighting, but by seeing, learning, and understanding. That's the new order. The predator's eyes glowed faintly, almost like they understood her words. The arena hummed with life, alive in a way that was both terrifying and magnificent. Mira knew they were not just survivors, they were pioneers in a game far larger than themselves, a game where trust, perception, and intelligence ruled over fear. And for the first time she felt a sense of belonging in this deadly, beautiful, and ever-changing world.